bulalema julo ka manla maje ni aja manla maje sulu simbeneleda useni mansata alale amansandi mbaro da bodimma mbaro da bodimma enu mukunda da bodimma alale bate jola mansole bate jola aye gambia bondi bata kono maje modu bele sewota ala be nyinkela manso be nyinkela usen bota nyani dobo dobo gae usen anata kombo tumami London ata kulli Okaelo adabo ayado kuoge Gambia Gambia kai Mandela.
Assalamu alaikum badi ngolo. Assalamu alaikum atol medube jiber wala ngal konto bake ngal be bismillah na programme to kabone ngalen na platform to UDP TV and media mo be dawdande ngal be konton altola anin al konton sen wala kavali ko assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh ka UDP dingo be konton al be dawdande kal konton kadwali fana kal jayi fo al salso nyaato tala al dunda kuwa kono ala say barako kije na party leader, the Secretary General and the President of the United Democratic Party, my president, your president, they are content nabake and the entire executives of the United Democratic Party call be content for your resilience on the fight against injustice and corruption and all kind of illegal acts may alonke be kekan na masakunda. So mbena executive content nabake mbe tentula bake mbe jaila. Ni wobodaje se UDP kaful fana be konton kabuna na kian kenaba UDP 100% la kamu be konton kabuna na kia mano bengeta baluntan siseti anin na kia wumano CBC se anin fondi kenya ton kol be UDP kal be konton kian kenaba kafali ko assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh be ndo kunyol fana be konton na menketa UDP kolti all the platforms kamu be konton and all the militants all over wherever you are kal be konton bin nakacha mbe men kacha la wolomu fontolo mbe tulakam fonde ne le ban na Gambia mbe tulakam fonde ne le ban kul men yalon kom fon ngalon ko atekeno la fombe tulakam fonde ne wala are we going to remain in denial of the facts many yalon ke be ke kan Gambia Bangkok and for how long are we going to continue being in denial for some of these facts? Nyelo ko kono ngamo yi kumunko molbe kumbo kanko fengol le dabe jawu yakan fa futata tembo to tembo me yalon ko mburo le dabe jawu yakan Gambia nada ministry fan monsieur yonyum fana je ko niaje fengol dabe jawu yakan wala to mburo da jawu yata fo mburo masoto dalilo me asa wolo nyinde ko frenyo wala da jawu yata but saying la fraka nyin karo kemenna as submission obenyame amanke frenyo damati na maintara wala kam because wala be kekan sayende yalla tol Gambian wol bolo nyam ninku men fundita nka wuri wala kan ngana wota nga landi but nak nyinin karo be kala meneti fontol nyimu kuleti me yalla ko en tol taren na ba wala to fo nyimu kuleti me yalla ko tol malon ko mun ka be kala le ando nyimu dati leles nyimu ko nyina dati dolati. This is just the beginning of the entire hardship me yalla ko it is awaiting the Gambia for the next 5 years. It had to any sector, any commodity, basic commodities for that matter. Yama anywhere in the Gambia, the price, keep on changing like a weather. Nita da bituko to be iko lafta murola imajale iko dalasi wora wala be wala tonu a selta atata dalastang abota dalastang sa ngafo ko dalastang fula mburo nyemu ko nyina dati dulaleti. Janni bafla ko adama la nyi sanjilu lobe banna. Mark my words and put it in your banks. Gambia mburo betala fo dala stang ani lulu mburo kon kileng anu mburo ni ala size jibe ata fensila. Put this thing in your records. This is what is going to happen. Because dalilol min bigye wolong adama mol mankati fayaye. Because mol ngalon ko he is not capable of doing anything progressive for that country. So people do not actually voted for him. That is why personally and many of my colleagues, we are always grateful to the Gambian people because the Gambian people voted for Alhaji Ousainou Mukunda Dabo to be the president of the Gambia for the next 5 years. So the criminals and the zoo president, literally what they did is they stolen this election. The election has been stolen. The wills of the Gambian people have been denied. And that is why they connive with the justice system to make sure that the evidence that UDP and other political parties who have the political will to go and challenge the results at the court were denied from fair hearings. So the escalation of prices in the Gambia womu kuleti me yalon ko be continue lale aling ngam pare wo kamma aling ngam prepare wo kamma momo yalon ko mu Gambia demolati ay de be sirin Gambia kono le fe be sirin Gambia bantalale aling ngam pare wo kamma ko fe won lañi da jawu ya womu dati fololati. Because menekita ya kumoli meno foali ya kabring ibe campaign wala abe mu kulet me alonko, it is a bogus lies, deception and political propaganda. But there is no circumstance or substance in any of the promises that they gave to you people. Gambia wole asabu nyanna katule kamfango kanyina anin katara balamba ya kono continuously. Because this does not need to be a scientist before you can realize that we are dealing with liars and we are dealing with criminals. We were given a lot of promises in 2016, most of which has never been fulfilled in the Gambia. Ndunta campaign yoko na wanyama. Yet still, the same zoo president approached the Gambian people and lying to them, giving them promises that we all know will never fulfill, will never be realized. But yet still, smaller amount or the small set of Gambian people decided to vote for him for one reason or the other. The reason is best known to them. We cannot question that reason, and we do not have any right to say that they should not vote for Adam Barrow. But the problem is, every time because we ought to do this thing together. We're supposed to fight this injustice together. We're supposed to fight this immorality together in order to sanitize our country and to salvage our country. But no. You know, yesterday I saw somebody, me along I suffered on Facebook, and the person at a country of Adam Barole. And I laughed. Why are you complaining? Allah zoo president mankalindi follow. Why are you complaining? The zoo president is yet to be sworn in the office, and things are happening this way. Imagine new work konkotol nata more many alonko. They are all bunch of opportunists. New one nata ye will sworn in, and they are given the executive positions to be in charge of the affairs of our country. They are hungry. Jadol be konkorine. Sumul be konkorine. Imagine what they are going to do. So all the money me alonko na parliament ba approve la. That is meant to better the lives of the Gambian people. Abetala Ali Baba Nala Mul Temale. Abetala Le Temale, including the president, the zoo president for that matter. So they are going to rob the Gambian people further, twice more than they did in the past 5 years. This is why injustice dolbekere ni bekeka bankoka, we the Gambian people should come out, especially the youths. We should stand together to protect the interests of our country, to protect our own interest, before we keep dancing on the tunes that are of no value to us. Everybody is going to suffer. Everybody is going to suffer. You know, we go for me account or share, but because I don't want to hide my feelings anymore. Go for me, and many people were not happy about that by looking at the predicaments passing on. But I'm just trying to express my feelings, and that is my clear consent. So, and I want to know wherever people are asked to put in their resources now in the Gambia, For me personally, the first thing that interests me in it is to know amari nying ay katre fay jumale. Ning ay katre fay Adama Barole. It doesn't matter the predicament amari nyimbe menkono. It's a no-go area for me. And I know this is the same thing. Membe Gambian di Jamabulokon. And this, I will commend anybody. May alongo you are moving with this line of thinking to make sure that people pay for what they deserve. People pay for what they saw. Molu yeku menke anyana ke no kanne. Gambia flata was stage oleto. It has reached at that stage. Iko fengol dabe kolearing. Mbafala Gambia dingol yeko fengol la da kolea. Alengam pare wakama. Fengo feng yalon ko bimba kumbo kan. Kafoko mbasot la das kemela. Alalon ko janne nyi sanjilulo be bandam be wasot la das kemelulo lale. Bawon ni songol lale be nyobulu. Nemole be nyobulu me yalon ko imam balafa sor Gambia dingol ye. But sunya anim balafa balia fana beta akoma. Fania damale ka boy da kono. And why are we in denial? Gambian ol mune asabu kombe balanka. Ntol ngalonde Adama e fania membe fontolie 2016 ni bitema e fania membe fonye. Ngalonde 2016 ani 2021 tema. Adama e mol dundi nyola nyameng. Ay barol ke barol men yalonko. It cannot be justified even in our norms and values at a justify la no. Mota gela no kuti me yalonko kukendolom. Yet still. Mo dantango dol bige men yalonko ilata kam yikarte o fayay. Jama bege men yalon ko luntangol ye bondi na banda ye carte fay Adama yata medi mo la carte sunya mune ba sabula sayin atol mo kilul be funtla nak alka complain alka mune complain be on it. And for those many yalon ko alman carte of the good citizens in my own view, alkana worry, the hardship is going to be felt by all. Abe mo bela kungokam, the hardship is going to be felt by every single person. It will mean carte of fire. It will more killing let binata la kata Adamano kan kaulini was state house on yinkono. Because of the injustice and then the immorality may along he's going to embark on. For he is always going to remain like that. I have said this time without numbers. Immorality is like a ladder. It grows as the person grows. Adama Benyamin, as illiterate as he is, akumobe sukiri nyamenteng. The incapability membala kuoto, as we all know, funding kelo many along we ought to stand to protect our country, to protect the interests of our country. Ntalel keta multi mini alon kombe lakang atefanan kan ka makoy pruka Gambia dingul sunyano kudola. And now corruption in the Gambia has reached a stage me along nita keta multi ko lafta ka corruption le fight wali lafta ke dabolo ja corruption kan in any institution that you are working at. Ibete kela multi me alon ko ibete kela victim solati. They will target you to make sure that you are fired from your job. Ibrahim Adamfa is an example to all of us. Before Ibrahim Adamfa, Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, Mankataye, Mr. Manjan Nakwoto. That should also be an example to us. Kabring Mr. Manjan Bota Social Security. Do you know how many millions of Gambian dollars is Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation lost within that 2 years? Because he was fired in 2020. 2020, and 2021. You know how many millions that would have been put into a better use to benefit the pensioners. Many alonko, they are old enough. They cannot even do most of the hard jobs. Their only dependence is on that pension that they have there. Everything is being stolen by these corrupt executives we call our government. Because Ndol Gambia do like it. In many countries, in serious countries, youths will rise. People will rise to protect the good citizens of that country. But in the Gambia, it's a reverse. Once you manifest your loyalty to the states and your integrity as against the corruption and illegal practices in our public offices, you get a victim and you are victimized. Nobody stands for you. Ninkonu ndola banko ngana civil right ni blonda no ngafa hambakel Ibrahim Adamfa bi. Every single person may alon kebe do ko la Gambia la Civil Aviation Authority le will be lola in 100%. Either they go in for the sit down strike, walanto they go for protest, peaceful one for that matter, to indicate or to show to the executives how frustrated they are with the immorality may along is constantly happening in our public institutions. But now some are satisfied with it because to them it doesn't affect them, but it affects you directly. It affects you directly because nina public institutional mukata kuol nyana kata nyameng fonka batarea alaw akakeje membina kala tinyaro ka futa stegle do me yalan kamuka mukar aka futa stegle do me yalan kamuka mukar Gambia la institutional jibe bang ila nyaton ko jibe everybody becomes a puppet. Every single person becomes a puppet to the zoo president. It is very unfortunate. Nyene bekere na banko kan. Ibrahim Adamfa is a victim today. And so many people are going to be victims in all our public institutions. Because competency doesn't matter. What you are capable to do in your institution doesn't matter anymore. Who are you loyal to? Who are you loyal to? If you are loyal to the president, even if you are as useless and as incompetent as himself is, you are free. You are good to go. Yes, you are good to go. You can do anything you want in that institution. Nothing will come out of it. From 2016 and in 2021 term, how many corruption men revealed the Gambia and nothing comes out of them. Nothing comes out of them because it is not their interest. Amanke tola interesti to fight against corruption in the Gambia. Wale asamu bi ni lota ala department oto amariye kufo me alonko I tinyaro nyine fundi in the Gambia di ngole bandala ka lankeni maya pour Gambia di ngole along. He is going to be fired. Because once you become a whistleblower in the Gambia, then you are going to be a victim to that act. Whereas in many countries, in serious countries, whistleblowers are given a special law that we call the whistleblowers law that protect the whistleblowers. Whistleblowers all force protect in serious countries in Kakeje. So now, Nibi Adamakalo Kafantolio Komoko, Tinyara Mandrake Masakunda, or even men from like support, at least they understand something that Tinyaro Keka Masakunda Konole. What is the justification that we have voted for him now? Idara Gambia loud lot. Nini mota ne diamoto. Mokonon to obey. Abe bafola in the Komoko. The Gambia is hard. Gambia is hard. The life in the Gambia is become unbearable. Who are the people who voted for him? So he has stolen the election. I'm a win. And that's why he will never be recognized as our president. Not for me. He will never be my president. He will never be my president because he is not the president-elect of the Gambia. Ne wobata ye ngadung National Assembly election okono na député carte fay fele a ñateli na Gambia amanjam fa ko tege April karo kono ba fala ko mbita ka député lel tombo ning mfutata député carte fay oma mbe maytande la UDP ngolla mbe maytande la Gambia dingolla nyimman sakunda membege ali alon de tiaro bombege sansen apita ka nyame ku membe ke ka masakunda kono amammo kumpa mobe alon ne ku membe ke ka masakunda kono sansen bakazol dabe nyameng baluo be kolayari nyameng. Let me not go to the security because that is never their concern. Things that are happening in the Gambia is just outrageous. Molka fa nyameng Gambia is just outrageous, and the saddest thing is femoga no hokoma. So I'm just going to limit my thing. National Assembly election or deputy kate fe onyi bankana nyim wula kono masa membe sirin na banko kan sain ning alias ke ali deputy diala député la nafaka ke munati député bungo kono ni Masakunda sulata menna Masakunda be la député lel kan ya makoy yewo kuoke ning bi afundi dal kan nan akwa sulata fengo fenna ning député lo aliya mel tombo ni wol ko ha wole be di la mansala baro adama baro damma ala la tili wotele dalasi wili keme dalasi wili tallulu aka wala domo Gambia banko kan mol se do ko no Gambia banko kan ne fo sanji tang e man dalasi wili keme dalasi wili tallulo sodno Gambia banko kan ala jibe alfangu ko fe til wotili adama baro kan men domo Gambia wala mu dalasi wili keme dalasi wili tallulu say momo yalon ko mo ngata be do ko wala Gambia la department o me yalon ko for example the civil service, let's say ala salary mu 3000 net ala salary mu 3000 net wobe 3000 jella kafla sanji jella ma betata do ko wala pour ka dalasi wili keme dalasi wili tallulo sodono sanji jella ma betata la do ko wala pour ka sodono ala nga jibe fangol fe so mu jellati womu karitallul lati karitallul so karita lulo kono ni yowo jibe wobe kala sanginani lati adama baro telu teli aka kodo meddo mo gambia banko kan atolla gambia kodo ka mendi ala namoto ka diala pour atanala dimbayal ya domo hanni anala furiya nyawnyara ni nyam ndol gambia dingol men yalon ko be doku wala men ka doku bake civil service pour ka adama baro la trikilin kodo gambia dingol ka mendi ala ibe sanginani ila sanginani doku wa kodo be ibole be kafla nyokan wala ning adam baro la trikilin do moro kanyanta anin ka jo men nakaro man kanya wol man clear anin ngam famu nyinen kanyinna say ning aka funting aka carte o sunya gambia dingol nyabala aka funting Musa mira nun ko ay nyin carte o sunya te nyamendeng maybe say a winter te nyamendeng ala jikanta yabe talalale wallanto ala kuriyabe talalale bari hana ban kalindi folo gambia din kendol men yalon ko ibe loring ibe dok wala gambia banko kan wol ko itel be dok wala damel to sunyaro lebe ke kanje yewo sunyaro le lankan me yabanda pour gambia dum sa jibe gambia la dibitel sa ko nyi jibe ya kisi e ko hani wo mu banku de jawolti kadon ay sunyaro le wanyar ali ngam fango jibe mune asabu be adama fa sala sain aka men do ma tilikelen anin tol men yalon ko be masakunda dok wala na sangi nani salary na sangi nani karijo ani wala kanyanda taka men do ma tilikelen and wo mala domoro dambalati ika mendi ala nin karo fata wo dalasi wili keme fula nin dalasi wili keme talulati dalasi wili keme fula dalasi wili talulu wala ka diala karo kare wo mun na sanji jella domoroti wallando wo mun tol masakunda dogulalla sanji jella joti sanji wora adama la kargilin jo anin tol men yalon kon tol fu arol men be dogola masakunda anin adama la sanji kargilin jo wonin tol la sanji wora jo la kanyanta aka mendo mo tilo tilikilin atanala dimbaya bankola kodo de kamendi ala woni na sanginani karijo wala kanyanta. Why are we in denial? And after all this expenditure that the government is spending on this guy, this zoo leader, amantara do ku ke kan gambia bankoka alingam fango nyine ka mune asab hansa yamba support la. Why are we not ready to stand against this man? Why are we not ready? Kele bonditi ke fem bonditi ke bar nin jikanta yal keta men yalon ko ngasure ko nyimu jikanta yalti ale nga funti nganda balambaya tandi fo man sakunda yalon ko moli ngalon ne ko mun kay mu kurungo lelti yesilota silo me yalan capital ni sangilu lo men tambita ku jamal keta gambia banko kan albe akalam tane drokol dunta me yalon ko adam barole drokol dundi gambia banko kan a drokol dunta kuma bonoje gambia dingol yalon nafo nigel fele be nyaabe mala ngene asabu ikaje moka mota silo kan aya bonki dola ika mota lani silo ka yaso murola afata kuma noje kuwo kutan wala ge droko ay medundi banko kan fo ningel bo wala takan fo ningel mo kale ka menke molbe nyo fakan doku mo ka create. So when this zoo leader is talking about job creation, you ask yourself in the Gambia, where did he create those jobs? And how many people are graduating from the University of the Gambia? Now we are talking about hundreds every single semester. Every single semester we talk about hundreds of graduates, undergrads and masters. Maybe masters were from back, but undergraduates in different specializations. Moment graduate Gambia now is getting so much. But honey saying, with all those graduates, nothing is better in our country. We do not like the competent Gambians, many alonko, they can manage our departments. Ni ayata nunko luwakendo benda bankoka. But no. Ngalonko bebe kering yet still Modolia feel like they have to vote for this guy. And for how long are we going to be backwarded in the face of this planet? Bankol be dok wala. Nim batara yabe kala Gambia damalato. Mo e fundi ay kate osunya. Mo be yalon kay kate osunya le. Mo le yesi ngabulage kate onyin ay konti for bataro onyin ay tashi ko take the zoo president to go and occupy that decent seat of our country, the highest position in our country, to allow that zoo leader to go and sit there again. Gambians are crying. Be continue la kakumbo la fujande nyi sangilu lo be banna as long as ndol ngamira nufo alale be giran santo pour kan nakalo Kenya. We are going to continue crying. The heat is going to be felt by all of us, by every single Gambian. Yudi pinkolo Gambia dingolo la damento yalon ko mense Gambia tanka domande ga sainte wala mu nyinti ko député yalon kalbe carte o fay la Gambia akana ke Adam Barrow la député ning aliye carte o fay député way me yalon ko Adama Barrow la londi abe menkela wolo nyinti Adama ni batara ya nata député bon kono e batala ya foko silo feleye at samba ali agela ko lo mebeti nyaka Gambia bankoka wo ko do ñini wol ñen nakanale pour ka tol Gambia dingol lel makoy bare ko do ñi be ka dum itul fon la jufo lel kon i Gambia din dati je ning aliya carte o fayala député woliye aliya sembentu yandi député bungo kono membe ke kam bi bawo ñon sabale satala jandi sanjilulo be banna al ka fe mo men san dalas kemela bi al basana dalas keme saballa janne ñi sanjilulo be banna al ka men san mano be dalas gelle dalas wili kiling dalas keme nani dalas wili kiling dalas keme lul al basana dalas wili nani la janne ñi sanjilulo be banna mbasana dalas wili nanu la janne ñi sanjilulo be banna nimmano futata dalas wili nani mol ka jo dalasi wili keme dalasi wili sabala dalasi wili saba dalasi talul ila karifa jo fonte man bodo kilon fon sande da joraw manna ma fo manna dindi mo lakra mo jo manna loptanto boro manna ite fon be men do mala ni kata do ku lato walle be do ku lato fon manna ibita do ku lato paso men o manna nko ndol tutale nimman adama la député lu be bondi nga kata hani député o akana soto dulato nko ngolka dimme yamre ni kake mole walle kake si karle kamfando kama walle kake pati karle kamfando kama walle kake te sinyo karle kamfando kama ila mburoni la soso be bulokon akole yata fola moko men kum mayata to nya ngaw ko indi nyoma ning aliya muta aliya empower aliya karto fay député ol min yalon ko adamay wala londi batari yambe mi gela banko kan be ko kan me mengela banko kan be ko kan UDP ngolu ali nga pare na député olu ali nga député ol londi ngana député olu winindi andi UDP dingolu mo kana foko ma win wallanto mantra siri state house kon ala yalon ko winter le dunia ya yalon ko mon kon to le winter ala jibu sen wala mu president ti Gambia banko kan nin ko no luwa be tamakan na banko kan bar sunya rokita afele mantano woto luwa ko wolbe ke kan ala nga luwa bula pati wala alfa liya fo nyame nga tente wo jam bari na député carte fayo mo kana si koma ka foko mo gayta carte wala fayla alinga na député wolu bini ni tundolu bekan ka je ko nga Gambia makoy alinga Gambia makoy ndolle sa Gambia makoy no because the other so-called political parties lately we all realize that those are toothless political parties without any relevance in the political sphere of the Gambia, and not only relevance but there is no readiness and the willpower to come and join the Gambians, to come and join the large majority of the Gambian people to fight against corruption in that country, to fight against injustice in that country. So to them, you either join the team that fight corruption. If you cannot win them, it's better than joining the credible team with confidence, and the team Minialonko, they have the willpower to fight for the Gambia. So wala sabu albe jamajala ebe join na adamaka. Itol memme botali ko ngokono wolon politiko ni nati genya naka fensodol. Ni be batare akele kan imam batare akele no. Teta join timo kan timo me yalonko wollel mu batare timoti. Adama la timo be nyame. Wala sabu albe jamajala ngamena no jamabe je they were credible, but now they are going to join NPP. When na kamete the Gambia dingola ning politicians if anya di lebe nyobulokon. Now look at the young men. Many yalonko ye alliance formed with NPP. And look at the kind of people. The statements ye mendi mola about Adama. Yalonde ko Adama man better, he is incapable. He can't do it. He is corrupt. He is useless. But yet still, they feel joining an alliance with Adama is better for them. Not for their party, not for the Gambia, but for them. But for them. So that is why they have joined the NPP alliance, just to make sure that the Zoo president is re-elected. And indeed, he was not re-elected because Gambia didn't fight Alhaji Hussein Wule. But injustice, wobe Adama Sambala basendi la kotege. So those Gambians that we thought, the youths that we thought were credible politicians who came into the political sphere of our country to trigger a change, a positive change for that matter, have now turned against the Gambian people because of their pockets. The kind of politicians that we have. And not only many Adamai alliance form. You will not be surprised about this, but put it in your books. Albe mo jamal legel melialan kay bi joina Adama kan politician wolu aliamra non ko mokumal le miti na Gambia la political sphere nyi kono because ye kumol men fonya Adama la karala to nyal le miti bari han wo be nyawnyal ding ibinale be joina kan abe maintain dilan na wolong na Gambia banko be nyadile. The attitudes of we the youths of the Gambia has to change, has to be changed first. If we want to really trigger a positive change and develop our country, it is not going to happen It is not going to happen. The political nature of that country has to change. Our approaches towards the government has to change too. Because if you are dealing with an idiot, there is a special approach in your mendiala. Circumstance and a situation where I mean demand. You have to play that card as well. But you have to be tactical when you are dealing with somebody. We all know he is one of the most useless presidents that ever occupied an office in Africa. In Africa. So you know na député carte fayo alinka na faire la UDP alinka na faire na député carte fayo la nga momo londi patio e momo sambanyana momo yalon ko tata primaries inata patio ko nyeko nga nyine dia la tundo la pour kalo kakala député alinga tanga na carte ofo yai anyana kala nye balwoni saya la di pour nga je ko ngana banko tanka banko la tanko balwoni saya da abenya wala to na alfali wala ke nyine asabu bi Femi Pidas wolte balurin fejang. Yine asabu bi Solo Sande wolte balurin fejang. Yine asabu bi Lamu Dambu Diba, and a lot of them imantra balurin fejang is because of this. They fought for the Gambia to their last blood. And that road, that path, mbawu continue lale always. And donc nyende pete kate fayo nyana ka itandi jelat. Dipite o dipite yalon ko a lota UDP to yala banko kan anyanna ka winne anyanna ka winne dalilo kamala pour nga Gambia banko tanka nga Gambia la nafulo nyi nga tanka nyi sung kasol blokono ani nyi incompetent group many alonko they are going to represent us as the cabinet ibulokono COVID-19 kodo aliagele menketa coronavirus nyi bata beketa ye mol sore la bungol kono ko mol kana funti mol kana ta doku wala kodo men nata Gambia masakunda mol la Gambia kodo ani ye med don tan banta ye kodo don ta Gambia dingul toyala yabule la jufol kono. That is how heartless these people are. That is how heartless these people are. And you hear them swearing with the Quran that this is the amount of rice that we bought and we gave it to this particular people. We gave it to this particular region. Without fearing the day that you are going to be questioned, alone in your grave. Mulla haku fase boal to drone. Killing. Aligi bere killing kay baby dala nyame. Killing. Aligi bere drone. Killing. Be ku labang men kacala wala mu nga ku wal jemeni be fundiga ndesan adama na la mansa kunda ndesan Gambia na ku kan akande bala fa bake tubando wala sabu ninga keba doli je kebal men yalon kon tol nyan naka latul la pour ka je ko aliye to nya sabatin din na banko kan aliye to nya fo ni wato la to nya fo wado sida wato menna amuka fo fonka je womo kili wala kabula adama no kan katara mu kan ka kenye moti kakenye malaika ndemoti kakenye mokende bati adama ifania men nanka mo be fo Gambia wonyen naka mo kendol be borindalale and don't definitely mo kendol be botalale yemo moje adama no kam bi wallahi hanning asanjobe sanji wile kemele amankati nakati te fe outside internally member kono definitely is more evil than the devil himself. Eko kana reconciliation wala wala njiti purunga ke kilimuti bari to neji malebe kala no kilimuti ite carte osunya mol mankuno je hani mete kalendi folo ya datika Gambia dinkendol men yalo ko ya London na barako na wakilo so purka doko ke Gambia masakunda ko nebe palasol menuto ya datika wol bay katu munaketa ye kuwol lel fo kuwol men yalo ko sunyare kuwol lel men batari ya kuwol men be ke kan Gambia banko kan ya start kawol boy. There cannot be any reconciliations in the Gambia if there is no justice first before any reconciliation. Before we think of it, all these people men yalo ke be bay kala doku lado. If reconciliation is indeed genuine, they have to go back to their job places and start working for the Gambia, for the betterment of our institutions. So why are they talking about reconciliations? More reconciliation now. Ita ko ini mole ka kilimoti. Ibol bayke la palaso do hani meta kalindi follow. Katu muna keta batare ya mbege ka masakunda ye wala fo. Walanto dolbege I feel like wolbe ni political party card leto, dolbe ni political party card leto. Woto nye bondi na masakunda kono, nye bay dok wala. Nye bay dok wala. Handi bita molle kelege men yalogo wolbe useless like Adam himself, a tissue paper. So reconciliation kaidan ni mobile ko is just a propaganda kulo me yalon ka mansoto UDP dati la nyi battery akuol kono UDP la alpha la kum fatale ida mallel ba ko kono e ka menu fundini ka usenda bolanta lo ke je pa bi da mantarge UDP da mantarge so kulo me alon ko e be kuoning e be diamu kan Gambia dingol lali pour ka mol kungol ka mol hakilo sunya ko deke ko UDP ni baro be ke kan kilimolti ndon ni baro te kala no kilimoti because baro mu dibolati ntol mu lampolati baro mu dibolati ntol mu lampolati so UDP ni baro te kala no kilimoti hani janning lakiran to nata kala no clinty as long as ay jiko ay wala faling ay Gambia la jika kendota ay misil meda jikota ay sunya robula Gambia banko kang ay fania fobula Gambia banko kang ay bataria bula kan na Gambia na fulo tinya as long as that do not happen we are doomed and that is why we are going to stand our ground so memo be kondo na hani saying momi yalonko be video jibe kan wala lebina jibe la be kacha mbada na janato fo weekend ko ni ala sonta inshallah kamo be konton al be dawd randing kafali ko assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu keken dolom UDP TV media bina janna ko teke ninga wato soto pour kananga kacha do tendende ala baraka bake assalamu alaikum